What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Frontline Film Podcast, episode number 26. Uh, Big episode today. Lots of cool trailers to talk about. We're going to be recapping some pretty big shows as well. Going to be talking Ironheart and The Bear as we finished both of those over this past week. And then we're going to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth, the newest installment in the Jurassic Park franchise. Me and you have not really talked too much about it, so I'm curious to kind of hear your thoughts. Um, so yeah, I mean we're head first in July. You know, it's blockbuster month. We got Superman next week, and then we got Fantastic Four coming up. So yeah, it's about to just continue to be crazy, which is very exciting. So, um, how's life? I have a new background again.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like every time we get on a call together, you are in a different hotel somewhere. So that's pretty funny. Where are you right now? Do
I'm
you
in
want to tell?
Los Angeles.
Yeah. Cole currently has sunlight flooding in, and I have pitch black outside where I am. So kind of odd. But yeah, no, dude, fun week. Had a good 4th of July. I know you did as well. Got some rest and went back home. So yeah, excited to talk movies. And man, we got some big ones coming up, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of really great trailers. And we can go ahead and just dive right in. Obviously, the biggest of the whole week of the year. Got the first little teaser of the Odyssey in front of Jurassic World. It did leak online as well. I tried to refrain from watching it online until I saw it on the big screen. Um, and Our theater did play it like literally like immediately before Jurassic World. I don't know how yours was.
Same.
I thought it was like about to not play, but then it played like immediately before it, which was cool, dude. So doesn't really give anything away at all. It's like what, a minute? You only see really John Bernthal and Tom Holland. And you get a glimpse of Matt Damon, but it really doesn't give too much away. You know, they're still filming it, but man, it got me hyped. It got me hyped. His little John Bernthal speech, like over the trailer, was just so sick. Um, the score, like you can hear Ludwig Göransson's score in the background. I imagine he's still working on that. Um, but yeah, dude, oh my God. It was literally they gave us like hardly nothing, but everything I'm seeing is just getting me more and more excited. Like last week it was the poster, then we got this. You know, sure enough, here in like, a couple months we'll get a full real trailer. So looks sick. Comes out next July. I literally can't wait. I think it's like July 17th. That's how locked in I am. Um, so yeah, dude, what did you think of the first look at the Odyssey?
Yeah, dude, I'd actually forgotten about it because we went and saw Jurassic World kind of later, and it kind of gives you to that point where the lights dimmed in the theater, so you're like, oh, the movie's starting, and then it came up and like immediately when like the first shot came on, I was like, oh my God, I forgot. And I like looked at camera and I said, oh my God, I'm gonna freak out. And no, it's a minute. It doesn't give anything away. It's, just Tom Holland and Bernthal's character. You can see Lupita Nyong'o's character in the background as well. And then you have, of course, we don't get to see Matt Damon fully. Really, just a couple shots, one far away of him floating in the water, the other one in his Spartan gear, military gear, whatever you want to call it, from the back. Dude, I don't know. I feel like this movie's gonna be really long, which makes me so excited because if I get a 4 hour Christopher Nolan film in theaters, I'll be there. I don't care what time, when. If I could buy my tickets a year early, I would do that. I mean, it gives me the same hype and optimism and like looking forward to it as much as Oppenheimer did when we got its first trailer. And that was just the raging fire happening in that, 30-second or 45-second teaser trailer, with Cillian Murphy's character kind of talking in the background. It is so cool to see. And I feel like this is kind of like Christopher Nolan has been so good at what he does that it takes a 30-second to a minute trailer to convince people to get to the theaters. I mean, Oppenheimer was like talked about for over a year before it came out when it was announced. And then when the Odyssey was announced, that's all people were talking about. It's so cool to see that one director who you know is literally adapting one of the most famous stories ever into a movie with the most stacked cast we've probably ever seen. Like, dude, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And I could go on and on about it, but it looks like visually incredible.
Yep, 100% shot on IMAX, which is sick. I mean, that's what he did for old Oppenheimer as well. Uh, yeah, dude, I'm amped. I was excited for Oppenheimer when we got the first teaser a year in advance. I'm way more excited for this. Just because, I mean, I imagine you honestly might be as well. I know you love the World War II stuff, but like I just grew up loving the Percy Jackson and like Greek mythology and all that stuff. So I cannot wait to see like how he does all this. We've never really seen him do like crazy like like mythical stuff. I'm curious to see like what kind of mythical creatures or gods or characters, that we've
Yeah.
seen that we've read about, all growing up. I'm so excited for this. 100% my most anticipated of the like foreseeable future.
Yeah, when we do our like most anticipated draft next year, that's gonna be 1-1. I mean, it's not whoever gets that pick takes it.
Yeah, I think I mean, like you said, I hope it's 4 hours long. I hope it's over 4 hours long. I hope it's like the Brutalist and has an intermission, you
Yeah.
know? Um, I can't wait. I literally absolutely cannot wait. I need more looks. I want to see how everyone's looking. Bernthal looked good with the shaved head. Tom Holland, looked good as well. Bernthal sounded great. Obviously, he's just got a great voice. What say you? You have any stories about Odysseus?
Yeah.
So tough. So, yeah, literally only a 1 minute teaser that hardly showed us anything, but damn, getting us excited for sure.
Yep.
So that is the Odyssey. Hopefully, we're still doing a podcast by this time next year.
Yeah.
But um, very, very excited for that. We also got two other pretty big trailers for movies coming out a little bit sooner. We got the first trailer for Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling. Um, so this movie is so the guy that wrote The Martian with the movie with Matt Damon wrote this movie as well. Or wrote the book for this movie. I've actually read the book. I finished it recently, like a couple weeks ago or a month ago or so. Um, Unbelievable book. Unreal. Um, yeah. I mean, if it's anywhere, I mean, The Martian is a classic. Martian is so good, and I think this is probably going to be better. It's gonna, The Martian didn't really like I don't know, like too out there sci-fi. It's just like he's stuck on Mars. It's a lot more
Mhm.
like science based. Well, this one's definitely like more science fiction based. You obviously
Yep.
got a little an alien ship, and um, the sun's dying and all this stuff. But everything about this is just screaming like 5 stars to me. You got Ryan Gosling, um, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who have done the Spider-Verse movies. They're behind it. I don't know if they directed it or wrote it or whatever, but they were, they were behind the whole thing. And the book is awesome. It's probably like gonna make everyone cry. It's like very, very emotional. Um, just really, really good movie. And you got Ryan Gosling at the helm. I think this movie is going to be a banger, especially after reading the book. I know you have no idea really what it's about other than just based off the trailer, but I mean that is pretty much what the book's about. The son's dying and they send him on basically a suicide mission to go try to save it. And he encounters um an alien along the way. So it's almost kind of like I feel like a combination of like Interstellar and The Martian. It's very like science based and stuff, but it's also a little bit more science fiction with the aliens and stuff. So yeah, well, I mean, what do you think of it? You haven't read the book, you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
What do you?
No, I have no idea what's coming. I will say that I feel like this was a long trailer. It was like really long when I kind of saw it show up because we were very excited. We knew that the trailer was coming. And then when it came out, I was very excited to give it a watch. Ryan Gosling, I think, has kind of is turning into somebody who can just be, early career maybe like a heartthrob rom-com guy, but has really turned into someone who can play almost any role. I mean, he's been really good in everything he's been. So when he was announced as like kind of the lead for this, I was very intrigued. And of course, when I found out that the guy who wrote The Martian, which you and I know that I love The Martian, I think The Martian is outstanding. The same guy who wrote that book wrote this book. I have high expectations. I will say this visually from the trailer, it's stunning. I think it is going to be one of the best looking movies of next year. Obviously, the Odyssey is going to be up there, but I think with this one, it might be kind of like a sleeper for like a lot of awards for stuff like that. I think it's going to be visually stunning. I'm so excited to see Ryan Gosling as the lead in this. It looks like his character is very interesting. A smart guy who teaches either elementary or middle school kids, but they need him because he's the only one that can they feel like can do it. And I love the premise of even the title, just Project Hail Mary. This is it. Like this is all we got going for Earth. And remember in Interstellar, like the planet's dying. This is all we got. We're saving the human race. And I feel like it's going to be like that too. So, I think, both love every bit of space sci-fi movies, especially we've gotten some great ones, and hopefully this one will just be right up there with, Interstellar and The Martian and things like that. I'm super excited. I love Ryan Gosling, and I think the story that it was kind of setting up in the trailer just intrigues me. So I don't want to read the book now because I know the movie is like right around the corner, but maybe after the movie I'll read the book and then, kind of sets it from there.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even remember. I knew the movie was being made, but I just heard that the book was great, and I just like had a free audiobook from Amazon or something, so I just downloaded it and listened to it over the course of like a couple months. Um, Great, great book. This is honestly outside of Odyssey and Dune, like this will be in my top three most anticipated next year. I'm very, very excited. It's a fantastic book, fantastic people behind the movie, it looks like. You also got Lionel Boyce, our boy from The Bear,
Oh yeah, yeah.
trailer. And I think her name's Sandra Hüller. That's how you say her name. But yeah, no, this is gonna be an awesome, awesome movie. I can't wait. It's gonna be a good like sci-fi, something out of, a franchise. Even though it's based on a book, but it's still
Yep.
gonna be kind of just something fresh.
Yep.
Um, so very, very excited for Project Hail Mary that comes out in February. And then the last trailer we got for this week, another pretty big action movie. I've been hearing about it for like a couple months now, but got the first trailer for The Running Man, starring Mr. Glenn Powell. And if I'm not mistaken, this movie is based on a movie that came out like in the 80s or something.
I think I saw that because I was looking up because you look up on Google before it comes out, kind of see who's in the cast and whatnot. And I think I remember seeing it. Um,
Arnold. It's an Arnold movie.
yeah.
I actually did not know that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a very simple premise. He's broke and basically it almost seems like the Truman Show sort of, but just on acid combined
Yeah.
with like the Hunger Games, honestly. Um, he just basically is on the show and the entire country is hunting him down. What is it for 30 days or something?
Yep.
Or he has to survive a week. I can't remember what it was, but um, yeah, very simple premise. I kind of want to go watch the original now before the new one comes out. But I mean, Clint Powell, obviously, he's the freaking man right now. He was awesome in Twisters. Obviously, in Top Gun, that's really what launched his career. But then Twisters last year, he was like the real lead man.
Yep.
And then also in Hitman, which came out on Netflix last year, which is honestly probably one of the best streaming movies ever. He was fantastic in that, and honestly, everything I've seen him in, I feel like he's really, really solid. So it'll be cool to kind of see him get his own big action movie. Because I feel like in Twisters he still had like like Daisy Edgar Jones and him were like a 1-2, but this is really like going to be his movie, you
Yeah.
know? The trailer did also have, I believe that was Coleman Domingo,
Coleman Domingo.
the host, and then I think Paul Walter Hauser maybe was in this as trailer as well. Um, yeah, dude. I mean, it looks like a really fun, good action-packed time. Kind of similar to how I said with Project Hail Mary. Like it's so refreshing. I know it's made off of another movie. It's a remake of another movie, but like it's just refreshing to get stuff that's not just franchise or IP related. Even if it is a remake, but very, very excited. Looks like a lot of fun. I think that was like either October or November this year. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. What did you think?
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be very, very cool, I think. Glenn Powell is awesome. And actually, so I just looked this up. So yeah, it's based off a movie from 87, and the movie from 87 takes place in 2019. So good to know that we're not following in those footsteps, because that would be terrible. But no, yeah, it's I feel like it's a basic premise that we've seen before. Kind of a sat or whether it be like rich people hunting somebody who's trying to win money or whatever. But this one's assassins who's trying to kill somebody who needs the money. Very simple premise that we've seen before, but I feel like having Glenn Powell as the lead is going to show him, all right, can he be the action star? Can he, because we're getting some good ones right now. And I feel like Glenn Powell is right there for the taking. As we always say, he's good looking, he's likable, he's all of that stuff. So, and then Coleman Domingo being the host, man, I thought he was, you know, very good. It looked like he was just, very feeding off the energy of the crowd that's kind of around him. So I love Coleman Domingo from what I've seen him in, and I know he was incredible in Sing Sing, which is definitely something that I want to watch as well. So seeing Coleman Domingo and Glenn Powell being the front man, give me more stuff like this. I know it's a remake, like you said, but dude, really cool premise, and it looks like it's going to be very creative and not I feel like, it's going to be a remake, but at the same time, it's a reimagining. So they're going to add new things. And yeah, we should definitely check out the original before we go see that one just to, kind of compare because now you're going from Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is, of course, iconic, to Glenn Powell, who hopefully is going to be, one of those lead guys in Hollywood very soon.
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at the cast. Also, I didn't even kind of forgot about it. It's also got Josh Brolin and Michael Cera.
The
So
Michael
very
Cera clip was awesome.
yeah, the Michael Cera clip with the water gun was really
Yeah, the Michael Cera resurgence, especially him in Phoenician Scheme, he was awesome.
I feel
So,
like really, I mean, honestly the Barbie movie kind of like
yeah.
launched
Yeah.
him back, and
I
now
need him. He's a resurgence like I am all for.
yeah, yeah, it'll be kind of cool to see him too, like in an action movie.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's probably going to be the comedic relief, but yeah, I feel like that's something we haven't really seen him in.
right.
So, yeah, dude, Running Man looks really solid. Very, very excited for that. Another good, like fall/winter movie. Very, very good cast. I'm excited for sure. So yeah, that's all of our trailers that we got for the week. Three really big, awesome trailers. So I'm very, very excited to check all that stuff out. But now we're gonna go and jump into the stuff we have been watching. We're gonna start off with the TV shows. Um, so like what I guess at this point now it's been like a week and a half, 2 weeks since The Bear and Ironheart dropped. We were finally able to both finish both shows, so we wanted to kind of recap our thoughts on both. We could start out with Ironheart. I know you finished it before I did. I literally just watched the last three, like I think last night. Um, and I remember I'd only watched the first two, I think, at last week. And I mean, overall, I would say it was a solid, entertaining show. It wasn't unwatchable like Agatha was, even though I did make myself watch the whole thing because I'm a psychopath. But um, it was perfectly watchable. There was some really solid stuff in it, I thought. There was certainly some stuff I didn't care for that much. Um, but I honestly do think the show had more good than bad in it. I think Dominic Thorne was really solid in the lead role. Um, I think Anthony Ramos was my personal MVP. Although we are a little biased because we love him, but he really was like a good villain. Like he really was. We'd never seen him, play a villain before, and I thought he did a great job. And then the last episode where you kind of like see why he's doing what he's doing and all this stuff. What makes a great villain is like, knowing their motivation behind it. So I think they did a good job of that. He was awesome. I don't really think any of the surrounding cast was particularly just great. Other Alden Ehrenreich was good. I still don't like I texted you. I just feel like he doesn't need to be in something like this. I feel like he's like one of those guys that could potentially be like a top tier actor, like an Oscar worthy actor especially after his performance in Oppenheimer, even though it was very brief, he like had like some of the best scenes in that movie for sure. Um, and I didn't even know he was in this until I started watching it and I saw him and I was like, "What?" His character was a little confusing at the end. I mean, it was cool who he ended up being, but then whatever they did to him was just odd. But I mean, overall, entertaining show. I thought it was going to be more grounded, but it honestly was kind of not that grounded there towards the end. Um, but yeah, and then obviously get the at the end. We'll jump into spoilers a little bit too. You get the Mephisto reveal, Sacha Baron Cohen. They've been talking about Mephisto ever since WandaVision premiered, how all those years ago. Great casting, by the way. He looked great. I loved like his facial hair and his eyebrows and everything. Looked very solid. So yeah, yeah, dude, what did you think? I kind of gave my thoughts. Let's hear yours.
Yeah, this I think Dominique Thorne and Anthony Ramos were outstanding in this. I actually was very impressed. I didn't think that I was gonna care for Riri's character and Ironheart as a whole. I didn't think. I thought the Hood also being kind of. I think I talked about it last episode. Kind of. I thought he was gonna be more mysterious than he was. Kind of at the beginning, and then we would get a reveal of like his true motivations. Which we did get the reveal later, which is fine. But yeah, no, I thought them two together, or when they were bouncing off of each other, Um, especially towards the end when they were kind of, not working together anymore and they were more enemies. I thought they were very good. I thought the girl that played Natalie, I thought she was very good too. I thought there was a lot of emotion between Dominique Thorne and her. Um, I was actually shocked at how kind of real it was at times, talking about grief and trauma and loss and all of
Panic
that.
attacks and stuff.
Yeah, and I really thought that was a good job. And we talked about in Thunderbolts how good that was getting really emotional background to some of these characters and why there's some of their motivations. And I thought they did a really good job making a I think a complex character. It'd be really easy to go into a 6 episode miniseries and say, we're going to make her as a character and then them fall flat. I don't think Riri is flat at all. And then you make a villain who also has deeper, kind of connections to, especially something overall arching. And, now we get Mephisto in the MCU as well. And Anthony Ramos did a good job at that. There were some things in this show that I thought were very cool. Seeing the iron suit, not be nanotech, which we talked last time, and seeing, it either, get hit into the ground and you have a crater or like
Breaking
fall.
apart.
Yeah, like, dude, that is cool. That's what we wanted. That's why we loved Iron Man in the originals or, back in 2008 or whatever. And I thought that was very cool, not having nanotech. Um, Definitely some bad. I agree with you. I don't think Alden Ehrenreich's character is necessary. You can say Ezekiel Stain is going to be like it's kind of a cool reveal, but at the same time, I think if you just revealed him as Ezekiel Stain, he can kind of do the same thing and not have him as this modified electricity building, person, I guess. But Ezekiel Stain, I did not see coming. I thought he was going to be related to somebody. Probably should have seen that coming with related to Iron Man. Um, let's see what else. I don't know. I really was impressed at some things. But yeah, I liked how, at times it was deep and I thought some of the fight choreography was good, making Riri like actually have to use her mind and everything like that. And, a lot of people have like these tragic backstories to their parents, like with Tony Stark, they get killed by the Winter Soldier, or Captain America loses Bucky, and like this is special, and the list goes on and on. But with hers, it's just a drive-by shooting in Chicago. Like I feel like that's very real, very grounded. And the reason she was making the suit, she kept saying because she could, but in reality, she did it to, protect the ones that she loved. And I think that's real. I think that's, can go with the extreme like intelligence she has. I liked it, man. I actually was very impressed.
Yeah, no, it definitely exceeded expectations considering like we literally didn't even have a trailer a month ago. Um, the marketing for this show was horrible.
Yeah,
Um, it was like no promotion at all, but it ended up being, I mean, middle ground Marvel show. It was there was certainly some good stuff. It's nothing just insane, but a couple of really solid performances from Dominic Thorne and Anthony Ramos for sure.
yep,
Uh, I don't know if we'll ever see any of these characters again.
yeah,
Uh, the ending was definitely, I didn't see her making that decision to sell her soul to the devil.
right, right.
Um, I didn't see that coming, but she did. Despite after a whole season, like trying to, you know, get Anthony Ramos to believe that or convince him that he's in the wrong,
Yeah,
and then you go do the same thing
yeah.
that he did. I don't know how I felt about that ending, and then you saw like the thing possessing her arm in the last scene.
The thing that makes me not, because Mephisto is kind of like the devil or whatever, you can kind of, assume that he's very, very persuasive, and that would be help. And Riri's not some overarching like person who knows all. She's at the end of the day still a kid. So I think the decision makes sense. But yeah, it kind of shocked me as well because we saw her, try to get it out of Anthony Ramos. And I thought the Hood was a very cool character. I don't know anything about him from the comics. So he's one character that I didn't know what was coming. But yeah, no, dude, I'm with you. Yeah, it was kind of shocking at the end. I did not see that coming. I thought she was gonna, walk away and kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing. But yeah,
Yeah. Um, I mean, I maybe we do see her again in like in Young Avengers or something if we end up getting that. I know that's been teased for a couple years. Um, I'm really curious to see if we see Mephisto again because I mean, he's pretty big in the comics. He has a lot to do with like, the Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch, like a lot of the sorcery stuff. Um, but he also has a lot to do with like Ghost Rider, which I'm
Mhm.
hoping maybe now this can kind of start getting that train rolling because I know me and you both really want to see Ghost Rider in the MCU. Maybe that can kind of, this is like a diving board for that. Um, yeah, I think I saw like years ago that Sacha Baron Cohen had signed on,
It was like
but
2019 or
yeah,
2020.
I just had completely forgotten about it. But if I'm wrong, did he like get canceled within the last couple months or 6 months or something? That's why I was like shocked to see him. I think he got canceled for some sketchy stuff, but
Okay.
we'll have to look and see. I don't know. Either way, I mean, I thought he in his one episode he was very solid. Crazy seeing Borat in the MCU. Borat and Eric Andre in the MCU.
Didn't think we'd see it, man.
Who'd have thought? But
Didn't think we'd see it.
yeah, so that's Ironheart. If you like I mean if you just like Marvel stuff, check it out. I'm sure you'll find some enjoyment in it. Even if you're not that invested into Marvel stuff, you still might enjoy the story. It's pretty, self-explanatory. It doesn't tie into too much previous stuff. Um, yeah, I feel like it's something that really a lot of people can enjoy. I love how it like really captured, I feel like the soul of like Chicago and that community and everything. Um, yeah, certainly some really, really good stuff in it. I enjoyed it. Everybody go check out Ironheart for sure because
Oh,
it's the last live action Marvel. Well, I keep saying that the last live action Marvel show we're getting until Wonder Man in the fall or winter, and
yeah, it's in December.
I think that's only like might be like an hour special or something. I don't know if it's a full show.
Yeah.
Can't
Oh,
remember.
I will say too, please go watch Ironheart because right now it's getting review bombed for literally no reason. No reason. There is no reason to review bomb this. I think it's BS that it has bad reviews on certain things. So please go watch it. Because do not read the reviews. Do not believe the reviews, the bad ones, because they're either nitpicking or it's review bombing. So please go check it out.
Yep. So that is Ironheart. Very excited to get to Fantastic Four in a couple weeks. Keep the Marvel train rolling. So yeah, that's Ironheart, and now we're gonna jump into our review of season 4 of The Bear. All right, so now we're gonna jump into season 4 of The Bear. As we have said in previous episodes, probably the best TV show of the last couple years. You know, the best like consistent TV show. We've gotten 4 seasons in 4 years. Um, they're still like able to put out episodes to the same caliber of that first and second season. Um, season 3 was definitely a little bit of a drop off, I think, in most everyone's eyes, including ours. So I know we were all very curious to see how season 4 was going to be, and I'm very happy to say that the Bears back. Obviously there were a couple really solid episodes last season, but it was definitely the weakest of the three. I don't know if they got lost in the sauce or if it was just story stuff. Um, but it really just jumped right back into I feel like what made season 1 and 2 so good. Really diving into every character. Um, I don't know, man. It's just such a simple show. They're just literally just trying to keep the restaurant open for as long as they can. They're trying to be profitable and, you know, cut their costs and things like that. But then they're also dealing with all their life stuff. Carmi's dealing with all this stuff with Claire, and Richie's dealing with his ex-wife getting married and maybe losing his daughter, and Sid's trying to decide if she wants to leave or stay. Um, just so much good stuff. This show is incredible. I'm so happy that season 4 was as good as it was. To just prove that, seasons 1 and 2 weren't just like a fluke. Um, literally, I don't think there was a bad episode this season. And I honestly would probably say, so I think MVPs of the seasons. Obviously, I think it's Jeremy Allen White in season 1. I think season 2, the MVP is Richie. Season 3, I would honestly probably say either Tina or Marcus. I think they're your two MVPs. I remember his like speech at the funeral or whatever. Um, this is Io's MVP season. This is Sydney's MVP season for sure. I think she gave the best performance all around of the season. Definitely more complex performances from her than we've seen in previous. Um, Yeah, dude. She was unbelievable. Like unbelievable. Locked for best actress. Locked. Um, awesome. But I mean that doesn't even take away from how good Jeremy Allen White is and the whole rest of the cast. Evan Moss Bacharach and all of the side characters. Will Poulter in it a good bit this season. I feel like we got more of him than we have in the previous seasons. Uh I mean, the list goes on and on. You got what's her name? Jillian Jacobs, his wife, I forgot her name. Maddie
Who's wife?
Matheson, Lionel Boyce, just all these people, dude. They're all incredible. The one scene we get in the episode 1 with Bernthal, it's just everyone's given the performance of a lifetime. And like I said, I'm really glad to say that I think Io finally had her MVP season. She really, really was able to show what she can do as an actress. Um, yeah, unbelievable season. And we'll talk about our favorite episodes, but let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, this is clearly Io season. She is absolutely phenomenal the whole season, man. You get some real shit from her, man, dude. Like, I loved her ever since she showed up in season 1. Like, ever since Sydney was introduced, man, I was all in on her. Of course, like Jeremy Allen White, and then you get, Cousin, and you get Tina, and you get Marcus, you get all these people. and you're like, man, dude, like we're kind of exploring these characters, but like at the end, Io is supposed to be, or Sydney's supposed to be a really big character, and we hadn't gotten that, really, really like deep dive into her character. Dude, she is unbelievable, man. She's so damn talented. She's going, and you got to remember, like, there's some really good actors that we've seen in this show. Brother, she steals the scene half the time she's with them, man. Like, she's showing emotion, like raw emotion, like how I think people would act. Like, sometimes, blockbuster movies or other shows, you get like this very, like, I don't know, animated emotion. Dude,
Over
it feels like,
dramatic,
yeah, she feels like very like when she's
real.
flustered, it feels like she's flustered. When she's anxious, it feels like she's anxious. When she's like very emotional, it feels like, dude, those are her real emotions. I can't get over her, man. Dude, there is multiple episodes in this show. I think specifically episode 4 and 5 back to back, where she kind of just carries the show. It's all centered around her from where she's, has the whole episode to herself in episode 4. Getting her hair done with the daughter or cousin. I can't remember like how they're related or best friend or something. And then you get the episode where her dad has the heart attack. And I think both of those episodes, man, are incredible. I think this season does a great job going back to the roots of, hey man, it's not just about the restaurant. It's not just about the family issues. It is about the people that are in this restaurant. And let me tell you right now, the growth you remember, and everyone remembers how much Sid and Richie despised each other when they first met each other and started working together. By the end of this season, man, the growth between those two characters going through like despising each other and now being like basically best friends is so damn cool. So damn cool. We have watched them grow as like mutuals, and I think that's so cool. Just outstanding performances up and down the board. Man, I'm so glad it was as good as it was. There were, it's probably one of my favorite. No, I'm gonna say it. This is probably one of the episodes in the season is my favorite episode of television so far this year. Like it's it's so good. I
The
think it's
wedding
incredible.
episode,
Huh?
the wedding.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the best television episode of the year. The emotions that I'm feeling, this show has kind of glorified like being depressed and having things not go your way. Dude, everybody gets a happy moment in this episode. Everybody, finally, man. And the dialogue that's going on, like, yeah, there's awkwardness, but there's also like compassion and empathy. Like, even the moments between Sid and Carmi's mom, like, you can't, dude, it's just, oh my God, man. That episode is so damn good.
And the stuff with the little girl too, like them all just keep coming under the table. Like everyone keeps coming and they're trying to make her feel better. It's just such a sweet, heartwarming moment. Like you said, in the middle of a show that really does kind of like focus on a lot of dark stuff. It really was refreshing to see them all be lighthearted and like a little childish
Yep.
to comfort this little girl. They were all having fun at the wedding and dancing. Richie got to dance with his ex-wife, and you know everything's going to be okay there. Um, Carm, had a dance with
Claire.
Claire. You kind of feel like things are looking up there as well. Um, Sid, like you said, had that conversation with their mom, and um, I don't know, just a lot of really good stuff. I agree with you. I don't know best of the year, but it's up there. It's top three of the year for sure. Best of this season, one of the best of the whole show, if not like I think it might be second best behind the Forks episode of season two. Um, like it's unbelievable. I think so. You said you liked 4 and 5. Obviously we love the wedding episode, and then I think the finale was just they nailed it. I
Yeah.
think it was literally just them three in the back alley behind
Yep.
of the restaurant. It was really just Carmen Sid for a minute.
Yep.
Then she comes in. Um, and then Sugar comes in like towards the very end. But you just get the big three essentially. Like you get the big two, going at it. Emotions, running wild between the two. Um, they're angry, they're happy, they're sad, but then they're happy, and then they're emotional towards each other. And then Richie comes out, and it all starts back up again, and they talk, and they start talking about the funeral again, and just all this stuff. And it literally just takes place in like the little back alley behind the restaurant. They're not even in the restaurant the entire episode. Like the whole episode is just out there in the alley. That's how they close the show. Um, which is just an awesome creative choice to me instead of just having because we've seen them show like chaotic days in the restaurant in previous seasons. Like we get it. It gets crazy in there. But it showed like the come down of it kind of and just kind of like next steps. This is like what's coming. Um I still don't entirely know how I feel about the decision for Carmi to take a step back and leave. Honestly didn't really see it coming, but I think it is a cool risk for them to take and kind of see maybe what other direction they can go in rather than just have him have a different problem in the restaurant every season, whether it's getting a star getting a good review or whatever. Now he's stepping away, maybe going to focus more on himself. What else is he going to do? Is he going to open up another restaurant that competes? What's going to go down? But I think they left it just so perfectly to where they can really now explore a lot of different avenues that we haven't gotten. Um, what did you think about him, like his decision to leave in that whole situation? I saw a lot of people, I think including Avery, your brother, a lot of people were kind of like split on it. Weren't really sure how to feel about him leaving. What did you think?
Yeah, it's definitely foreshadowed earlier in the season because there is a conversation where Carmi talks with Sugar, and she says like it's okay if you don't love it anymore. Like if you don't love it anymore, don't do it. And I feel like when they brought that up, I was like, okay, I kind of think I know the direction they're going here, and no, I'm all for it, man. It's so different because you are so. I feel like with TV shows, you're gonna be so programmed to see like, okay, he's just gonna keep going, and the bear. Dude, when he said, he's having a conversation with Sydney outside and he like claps back at her and he goes, I know you're great, like I know you're great, but you're the bear. I got fucking goosebumps.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh my God. Like, they just pulled that out. Like, it was incredible. That whole conversation between Sid and Carmi felt so real. Because they're not like, again, we talk about like in a blockbuster or other shows, like they're finishing sentences and they're trying to get like this big point across. But this is not that. Like, they're both flustered, they're both emotional, they're not finishing sentences, they're talking over one another, and they're trying to explain their point. Like, dude, that's real. That is why the bear is so good. And he yells at her, like, you're the bear. And, like, I agree. Sydney is everything that Carmi is not. Sydney is compassionate. Sydney understands people. We have seen it throughout this show, especially this season. And, I mean, especially with Richie, coming out there when they're literally foreheads touching, like, what did you say to me? Like, I'll kick your ass. Like, I'm coming after you. Like, dude, that felt real too. And then, yeah, when I felt it coming, I really did. I'm not saying that to be like, oh, yeah, I saw it coming, but it was foreshadowed. So I kind of had an idea. I like it though, because you don't need the bear to go on forever. I think Carmi really did do this, um, as he did it because he felt like he had to. But, we see glimpses of him not even like, he doesn't like this. He was trying to create hurdles, he was trying to create challenges, and that's what he says. But at the end of the day, I think that it has taken over such a majority of his life that he has lost other parts of his life, whether it be his mom or Claire or a relationship with Richie or anybody. And I think it is so good. Like, I think it's a great way to go. Say that he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's burnt out, and I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to help you get to that even line and I'm gonna get you back in the profit. And once that happens, like it's yours. This is your restaurant. And I thought it was so cool that Sid wanted to put Richie as a partner. I thought that was like almost like a long time coming. We've waited this whole show, and we saw it in the wedding episode. Like Richie coming to terms with, okay, my ex-wife, I'm not gonna lose my daughter. You know, I'm learning, I'm trying to build myself up to not be hurt when he gets married to her. And now, dude, Richie has just had so much growth, and Richie and Sydney have had so much growth. Because at the beginning of the show, if you had told me Sydney would have put Richie on a partnership, I said, "You're crazy. That's not happening." So they did. I think they did a wonderful job, and it takes place in one spot the whole time. And yeah, no, they killed it. Knocked it out of the park. So good. I could go on and on about season four. I think it's incredible what they did. I think, I definitely understand if you don't like that, Carmi stepping away, but I really do think it's a sign of growth for his character. He felt like the only thing he could do was get up and run the restaurant. And I think season five could be the last season, and all it is Carmi, working to like put the pieces of his life together at the same time, um, getting that restaurant, getting the bear to even, and then letting Sydney run it, and then at the end he just walks away.
Yeah. Yeah, I really am curious to see because they did it was like it wasn't immediate.
Yeah,
Usually like it's been immediate that they announced the following season. It took like about a week for them to
yeah.
officially announce it, but they did. I think I saw somewhere that all of the actors were at least contracted for one more season. I don't know if that means it's going to be the last, but so we will be getting season five next year, which is sick. Like you said, I don't I'm very curious to see the route that they go. I'm curious to see if Carmi takes a step back and isn't really the main character, and if they kind of make it more of Sid and Richie's show. Um,
And shout out Marcus for winning an award, best new chef or whatever.
oh
So
yeah, dude,
sick,
that was a really good
so
heartwarming
sick.
moment. Yeah, you think it's gonna be Sid, but then it ends up being Marcus. Very, very cool moment. Just so many cool little moments like that, dude. It really is just unbelievable show. And even mixed in with all of the seriousness and the arguing and the emotional moments, dude, it's so funny too. It is just so their little comments back and forth to each other are just so funny and quick-witted. It's unlike anything else. It's so hard to like rank this in TV seasons of the year because I swear to God, this has been the best year for TV, and we're only halfway through the year.
I
This
know,
has been the best.
I know.
This has been the best year of TV like ever, in my
Yeah,
opinion. What we got like Severance was lit,
yep.
Studio was great, Andor was
Andor,
unbelievable.
yeah.
This is was unbelievable. Um, I don't
I'll
know.
say that I put this season in my top three so far this year. So you can kind of do with that what you will. But like I just think it's like you said, dude, so many good seasons. We're not even done, man. We're not even done.
Yeah, yeah. Unbelievable season. I would legitimately give it a 10 out of 10. Um, I think this is right there with. I think season two is still the best season, but I think this one is like right there with season two. Just unreal stuff. Award season's gonna be a bitch. I don't know what they're gonna do, but um, it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. But yeah, just yet another unbelievable season. Four seasons in 3 calendar years. We're about to get a fifth next year. It's unbelievable. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Shout out the team at FX and Hulu for doing that. Very, very excited. And then now we get to look forward to see old Jeremy Allen White as Bruce Springsteen
Hell yeah.
in a couple months. So very cool. But yeah, that is our recap of season four of The Bear. Unbelievable. Everybody go check out The Bear. It's the best show. It's probably the best show airing since Game of Thrones, honestly. I think
It's definitely the
by the time it's all said and done, I think this could be like in that top three TV show all time discussion for me personally.
I feel like it's definitely best show since COVID,
Oh
like
yeah,
overall.
100%, 100%. Um, yeah, so that's the Bear. That's our TV shows. I also have still not gotten caught up on Stick. I spent a lot of time watching The Bear and Ironheart, but we will get to it. I actually have all of like the remaining episodes downloaded on my computer. I'm going to watch on my flight.
Yep.
We'll be getting back to Stick now that Ironheart and The Bear are out of the way, uh, and continuing to talk about that. And I'll probably have Squid Game watched by next week as well. I want to watch the final season of that. So, yeah, that's all of our TV, and now we're going to jump into our movie review for the week. So this week we got Jurassic World Rebirth, the what, seventh installment of the franchise.
Yeah.
It's really the first that's like kind of separated from the original six. I feel like are all interconnected. I mean, this one kind of sort of is, but it really is. I feel like the most separate out of all of them. No returning characters or anything. Um, a new island. Like I think they really did want to kind of have like a soft reboot, but it still kind of was continuing the story after the events of Dominion. Um, but yeah, so new installment of Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. I don't even know what to call the franchise. Definitely, I would say this franchise in the past couple years has been hit or miss. I think like Jurassic Park, obviously the original was like one of the greatest movies of all time. I think the second one's really solid. I think the third one takes a step off. But then I think Jurassic World, the first one with Chris Pratt, is like unbelievable. Really, really good. Almost like could be up there with the first one. And then Fallen Kingdom and Dominion had some very cool moments, but for the most part, they were kind of duds. They kind of just tried to do a little too much, I feel like. Um, so, this one got announced and new cast. We got Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, um, and some other people you may recognize. But yeah, so I mean, this is honestly didn't really know how it was going to go, considering the fact that the last couple have been, kind of controversial and a lot of people hate them. And but the thing is about these movies, whether they're good or not, they still always make an insane amount of money. Like Dominion broke 1 billion, and Dominion's, the weakest of probably all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
People love this franchise. They love dinosaurs. And I don't blame them. Dinosaurs are awesome. I will say, and then we get your thoughts. I think it was a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago when we got a trailer. Like I told you that I was like doubting this movie. I was like, I just have a feeling this is not going to be good. I'm really not that excited for it. I don't like the fact that the dinosaurs aren't even really real dinosaurs. Um, I don't know. I just kind of had a feeling about it, and I will say up front that my feelings were kind of accurate, at least in my eyes. I was definitely a little disappointed with this movie. Did not love it. Some cool stuff. It's not all bad, some pros. But I think my prediction was kind of accurate. Yeah, and I'm curious to see if you're kind of on the same wave as me or if you're a little higher.
I'm definitely, I think, higher than you. I am very curious to see what you give this movie. I will say right off the bat, I don't think it's anything like special. I think it's basically another story that we've gotten before. I mean, greedy guy wants to make a lot of money making a medicine, but in actuality, he's a POS human. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. I will say this. We talked about it, I think, when the trailer came out. And remember, we saw the quote that said the big dinosaur was based off like a xenomorph kind of deal. I thought the last dinosaur looked so stupid. I think it looked terrible. It looked like the Rancor from Star Wars is exactly what it looked like. I think it looked stupid. Nice four arms. What are you doing? So I was a little disappointed with that. However, that's not to say that some of the other dinosaurs were very cool looking. The T-Rex scene with the raft floating down the river, I thought was A tier. Great, outstanding. Give me everything with the T-Rex. He looked hilarious, swimming with his little arms, and then he was also terrifying at the same time. And I've never seen a T-Rex swim before. I didn't know they could do that. So, somebody kind of gave a weird representation of what animal it looked like. You're reading too much into it. Okay, just they said it looked like some lizard that could swim very fast. I said awesome. Okay. I also thought I thought it was also very cool that when they saw like the man, what I don't even remember Titanosaurus or whatever the long necks basically. All of them were just like, holy shit! Look at those dinosaurs! Like they're freaking cool. So I thought there was like seeing some moments of like awe seeing the dinosaurs up close and Jonathan Bailey's character like being very emotional seeing them for the first time. Thought it was very cool. Some things I didn't like though. I don't think this movie really necessarily needed a family dynamic. You know, like with the three children and the dad. First of all, why is he sailboating there? Like you're an idiot. You
What a
deserve
horrible
that.
father.
Yeah, terrible father. And second of all, like I'm so sick of these kids being in stupid situations in the new ones. Like, we don't need that. This could have been so much cooler if it took a more like tense route on the island with a full like squad of people. But and also like you want me to care about these like deaths among the crew with characters that I don't even know. Like Mahershala Ali is mourning three of the losses, and I don't even know who they are. I don't even know their name. So I thought that was kind of stupid. And then the one scene with Jonathan Bailey like falls down the cliff, he lands in the water. Don't have a problem with that. But literally, like half a second later, everyone's down there. How does that happen? He literally fell, like I don't even know how far, and everybody just was down there. No, no, that doesn't happen. But I thought, yeah, the ones at the beginning of the movie where they fought on the sailboat, I thought those were pretty cool. Some very cool shots of them in the water. I thought that was very cool. And but no, I don't care for the family aspect of it. I thought that was weak. I think you could have just done like a squad type thing and make it more like tense and horror based. I thought that would have been cooler. But yeah, no, I mean, not all terrible, but yeah, no, there were some things I would change for sure, especially the look of that last dinosaur. God, it looks stupid.
Yeah, I agree. That's honestly probably my biggest con, and that was my biggest con when the trailer came out. I want real dinosaurs. I want a real T-Rex. And even in like Jurassic World, where it was like an amplified version of a T-Rex,
Yeah.
it still looked like a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a T-Rex, but it's killing for sport, which is
But, like
much more terrifying.
this one though looked stupid.
Yeah.
It looked so damn stupid.
Yes.
It made me mad. I think the pterodactyls looked fine. They didn't look like too crazy. I thought the long tails on the bronciosauruses was stupid. Um, but like you said, there's not all bad stuff. There's some good stuff. But I feel like a lot of the good stuff is rooted in nostalgia. Like the moment where they all see the dinosaurs and the iconic score plays
Yeah, I
and
like that. Yeah.
yeah, a couple little moments like that. And then, like you said, the best sequence of the whole movie was the raft scene with the T-Rex. Dude, people want just like the OG dinos. Like, quit
Yeah.
getting this weird alien looking stuff. It's so annoying. Like the T-Rex is like the coolest thing in the world. Why would you mess with that? Or raptors. Like
Yeah,
they
we
didn't
got no raptors in this movie.
know. It's just very, very frustrating. Um, I don't think anybody put on a particularly good performance. I would say out of the big three, I think the best was probably Jonathan Bailey. I feel like he kind of captured that like magic and like thrill,
Yeah.
and excitement of being there. But I don't know, man. Another pro I have though is I do think it visually looks great.
Yep.
I think they did film a lot of this like on location on islands and stuff. And Gareth Edwards is the director. He did The Creator. He's done other. I
Rogue
think he
One.
he did Rogue One and a bunch of other stuff. So he definitely like has an eye for like big blockbusters, like how to make them look good. I think visually and a lot of the stuff on the boat like looks really good.
Hmm.
And then a lot of the stuff of them like in the jungle and stuff, I do think it looks really good. But man, story wise, it was just copy paste. I feel like from what the last six of them have been. We're gonna go to the dinosaurs and get their blood to try to cure a disease. It's a story that's been told 100 times, and it's just I'm over it. I'm over it. Give me something new. I at least enjoyed like the part of Dominion where like it's not they're like the dinosaurs are actually in the world. Like they tried to do something a little different. Um, I don't know. It felt like copy and paste from literally the first one and then almost all of the rest
I
since.
also think like an easy cop out to keep these like dinosaurs contained is using a climate thing. And I don't believe it. I don't buy it that they can only live there. Nah, dude, I don't know. I wanted something because when you think Jurassic World, you think like they took over the world. So that would be cool. Give me that. I saw a post on Twitter that was like if it was post-apocalyptic kind of
Yeah,
with
it
the
was like
dinosaur.
mostly dinosaurs and like not very
Yeah,
many left. Like,
give me
dude,
that. That'd be sick.
yeah, no, that'd be so tough. But yeah, I mean, I guess now we can kind of jump into scores. Obviously, I was, as I've said in this review, I was very underwhelmed and honestly kind of disappointed with this. I'm definitely lower on it than you, I think. There are some good things. Visually, it looks good. The scene with the T-Rex is great, and there's a couple good nostalgic moments. But outside of that, I think the story was very boring and unoriginal. I don't think any of the acting was particularly just like out of this world. Um, and dude, screw that last dinosaur. It still just pisses me off having that be the last big bad dinosaur. And it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's not even a dinosaur. So, this is like probably my lowest blockbuster of the year. Um, I did 2.5 stars. And I only, let's see, trying to find my actual rating. 2.5 stars, and I gave it a 5.4. It's teetering on that edge of being a 3 star. Um, but man, I honestly just did not really enjoy this movie. It's out of like everything, it's my lowest blockbuster on the year, if you unless you count the monkey as a blockbuster, but not really. Number 37 out of 45. I was quite disappointed in this. Um, yeah, what'd you think? I mean, it's making a boatload of money though, so I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, because it gives them a chance to rewrite their wrongs. So you can keep selling me on dinosaur movies. I will keep seeing them. And hopefully one of them will get better. No, yeah, definitely a little bit higher than you. I think there was enough moments like the raft scene, the score playing over the original. I thought the only acting performance that I actually kind of enjoyed was the boyfriend because he was funny at times. But other than that, like, yeah, you're right.
I think
Nothing.
the boyfriend was kind of funny
Yeah,
too.
he made some like quick like jokes and everything. I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, so a little bit higher than you. And I gave it a 6.2, 6.2. And you know, that's not to say like, is it awful? I don't think so. And I've actually seen a lot of people on Twitter saying they enjoyed it. And there's enough things to I think enjoy, but yeah, like this movie could have been better, but you're kind of recycling the same stuff that we've seen, especially in the most recent Jurassic Worlds. Yeah, and then the last dinosaur. Why do you look like that?
Yeah, very, very irritating. But hey, that's just our reviews and our thoughts. As we always say, go see it, make your own opinions. I definitely know a lot of other people have had a good time with it, and I've seen positive things on Twitter. Um, so go check it out. I mean, it's raking. It's raking at the box office. It might break 1 billion. I don't know. It did like very, very well. So yeah, I mean, it kicked off a stacked month. So massive episode next week. Very, very excited to get Superman. Very, very, very excited. But yeah, and as we close off with every episode, just kind of some stuff we've been watching. Um, I've been watching a lot of Love Island, as I talked about last week. I'm all caught up. But outside of that, I did go see F1 again, just because my parents wanted to see it. Still just freaking awesome.
The palate cleanser.
Such a damn good movie. Oh my God. And then today on my flight here, I actually watched Freaky Tales, that new movie with Pedro Pascal and Ben Mendelsohn. Very interesting movie. Tried to go with I think like a kind of like a Tarantino vibe, telling stories like out of order, but they all merge together in the end. And um, very interesting, but nothing crazy, but different and interesting. So that's really all I've gotten to because I mean we did watch a lot of TV shows which take up a lot of time, but I'm definitely going to be seeing Superman this week, and I might even check out Elio if I have some free time this weekend. I still do want to see it. A good kids movie, never hurt. And then, like I said, I'm going to probably start Squid Game here soon. So I was actually looking at your letterbox. Looks like you watched something really solid recently.
Yeah. So I watched a new movie. You know, it officially came out last year. And it's The Surfer with Nick Cage. And let me tell you. We watched the trailer. Remember, we talked about it, and we said it looks very, very weird. And I am pleased to say that it is just as weird as it looked in the trailer. I will say there are some very good things in this movie. I thought Nick Cage was great, dude. And it really kind of makes you kind of think. In the end, kind of was he hallucinating? Was it real? Was all of this like just playing in his mind? Very interesting. And I was actually kind of impressed. I thought I was gonna not like it. Cameron's dad finds some very odd movies, and he said he liked this movie. So when I heard he liked it, I was like, okay, I'm very excited to see. I actually enjoyed it. I thought like it kept me like thinking the whole movie. And there's some things that I thought were done very well, and it kind of takes place all in one place. The setting never really changes. But yeah, Nick Cage was actually really good, and I actually recommend this movie. So if you don't live here, don't surf here. That's what they say the whole movie. So yeah, it's very good. It's funny at times, but it's also kind of like I don't know, man. It's you gotta see it. I can't explain it. I'm trying my best, but
It's okay.
yeah.
Looks like you watched something else today, though.
Oh, today,
Maybe yesterday. Oh,
uh, does it have a is it a Christopher Nolan movie you're talking about?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah. When I got home from class this morning, because I got home early, Cameron wanted to clean the apartment, and she turned Interstellar on. There was no cleaning done once that movie was turned on. And yeah, that movie hits every time you watch it. Still 5 stars. And what quote did I do on this one?
They didn't bring us here to change the past.
Yeah, yeah, nah, sick. It feels like the movie gets better with every watch. I don't know.
No,
I don't
I'm
know.
with you there. It's about time for my annual rewatch as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean that's everything. Like we said, Superman next week, huge week. Might even check out that new John Cena and Idris Elba movie on
Oh
Amazon
yeah,
Prime.
yeah,
Apparently, it's actually like a really
yeah.
good.
Saw
I've
that.
seen lots of very positive people saying it's like one of the better streaming action movies like ever. So I'll definitely be checking that out at some point, maybe on a flight or just at home one night this week. So we'll see. Maybe we'll throw that in there as well.
And
But
Sinners is on Max.
Super Sinners is on Max. Superman next week. Depending on what all we got, maybe we can do like a comic book movie draft or something. We'll figure it out. But as always, thank you all for tuning in. Continue to like and subscribe and comment. Follow us on everything. Yeah, Landon's gonna keep cranking out shorts, and we're gonna keep doing this until the wheels fall off.
Let's go.
What's a quote? Give me a quote, quick.
Uh, I don't know.
Roar!